Hey everybody, here we got a little bit of history from 1988. It's a mail order hobby shop catalog from back in the day. If you wanted miniatures, and a lot of the hobby shops that I was spent time in didn't carry miniatures. They carried board games and role playing games and that kind of stuff. But to get miniatures, you needed to go through a catalog and get them. And this is one of the routes that we got stuff. And this is one that we spent a lot of time getting, like a lot of our role playing stuff for. And you can see the cover. It's kind of a play on the old D&D cover, where I showed everybody digging into it. So you got all the, it's like rats or Skaven type critters going into it. But then you have, it's like advertising for everything that's in here. Like the big emphasis, yes, D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. This was second edition at the time. This, I think, the basic box set. By this time we were still playing advanced Dungeons and Dragons. We started off with the basic Dungeons and Dragons, then we went to advanced. We tried second edition, weren't too happy with it, so we just went right back to the old advanced D&D. But it was compatible with the second and first edition were compatible, so there you go. And all the different modules you could get. The little Dragonlance stuff was going rampant through everything. And then we had, yes, here's the advanced D&D books. Someplace I have all these. It's on my shelf back there somewhere. Yeah. Modules. Lots of modules. You can't play a game without modules. And there we have the World of Greyhawks. And it's like I have someplace a big map of the world of Greyhawk. It's like the map thing, to lay it all out, so we have our adventures going everywhere. Oriental Adventures, Bushido. Here's all the Dragonlance stuff right here, and you get some of the miniatures that come with it. Yep, we played a lot of Dragonlance. Alright, here's the D&D Advanced Battle Systems. Yep, Palmer has shown off. He's gotten into it a little bit. This is where we used to play. A lot of our battles and stuff was started using the Advanced Battle System, to go with our role-playing. That's really the forerunner for us getting into fantasy, because there was no such thing for us as Warhammer Fantasy at the time, because it wasn't in the area. Nobody played it until we picked up on it when I moved to Des Moines. RuneQuest, all the different miniatures. You look at these miniatures, and at the time you have no clue as to scale, how they scaled up with each other. So it was kind of a crapshoot when you're like, oh, I'm going to get some of these miniatures, and just, you buy a few just as like a test. And when they show up in the mail, you're like, oh, okay, they're compatible with these other ones. Stormbringer. Oh, yeah. Eric. Alright, so we have ElfQuest, Pendragon. And here we go. This is your Warhammer section. Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy. This little bitty section right here is your Warhammer Fantasy. It's like today, it's like you have all these books and just, a company that's just massive conglomerate of destruction and mayhem. It's just a small little contingent in this little catalog. They were nobodies at the time. Yeah, alright, here's something I spent a lot of time in. This is Middle Earth. This was our role-playing section. We played think I pretty much have all these books that are in here for the role-playing system. Because that was one system we played a lot of. Yeah, the Warhammer Fantasy miniatures. Lots of it. Tunnels and Trolls. Don't have much experience. Alright, Rollmaster. Harn Master, Rollmaster. We played a lot of Rollmaster also. That was actually one of my favorite systems, was the Rollmaster system. Then they had it, Rollmaster became, they had their Middle-earth version too. And Lost Worlds. GURPS. Lots of stuff here. Lots of different games. And we have Marvel superhero board games. So you could basically role play that stuff too. Villains and Vigilantes, Champions, Justice League. Yeah. Gamma World. We played some Gamma World for a while. It was an interesting system from TSR. Then we had Star Frontiers. That system. I got a lot of the ships and stuff that go with the Star Frontiers. But eventually we started playing. I used the ships in another Starship game. Battletech. Here we go. Early days of Battletech. Yeah, the original box set right there. These guys have only been around at this time. It's like their second or third year on the market, so they were small. Just starting to get going, really, with the Battletech era. And no clans to be seen. Car Wars. A little fun game. The guys in the group had Car Wars. We played a little bit of it. Star Trek. Star Trek miniatures for Starfleet battles. Right here, you can see Starfleet battles down here. Lots of Starfleet battles. I played that game all the way back in high school. You're talking early 80s. It's like during our any type of break, my friends and I would, right in, it's supposed to be our study hall, we would play Starfleet battles. It's like, hey, I don't have anything to do today. All right, we're playing Starfleet battles. We always carried it with us. And then we just continue on with the game. Doctor Who, Twilight 2000, played some of that. Traveler, played a lot of Traveler. My one friend was Wayne. He was big into Traveler. He had all these books. That was his thing. That was his. So he collected all that, and we just play with him. Star Age. There's some games I've forgotten all about. Oh, there we go. Call of Cthulhu. Get all the miniatures that come with that. Paranoia will destroy you. Bond. James Bond. 007. Gangsters. Here a little ad for Gen Con Origins 88. Come to the Mecca of Milwaukee. Yes. I've been to the one that was in Milwaukee. Used to go to the Gen Con when it was there back in the day. And we went there to role play, actually, back in the early days. You can order. There's your order forms. We used a few of these. Star Wars role-playing game. You're finally seeing some Star Wars stuff. Adult party games. Yeah, we'll just skip that. I've never done it. Alright. SSI. Computer games. Microprose. Here's some names that some people might remember. Children's games, word games, dice games, Yahtzee. There we go. Illuminati. Down below here. Mini games. What was these? Oh, there's Ogre right there. Used to have that right there. Yeah, these were the ones that we could take in, you know, a lot of that kind of stuff you see in school. Alright, so, oh, Axis and Allies, the early version. Stratego. Stellar Conquest. Oh, man, here we go. Cosmic Encounter. There you go. That game has been around forever and a day. Starship Troopers, I used to have that game until I sold it. Okay, we've got Wizard Quest. The old Avalon Hill stuff. Oh, wow. Star Force, Vector, Stargate, Third World War. Oh, man. I used to have all these. Play every, it's like you look at a game, it's like only $18 for a box. I bought these, all these, and we played the heck out of them for years. And probably about 10 years ago, I sold them all. Each one of them went for like $100 a piece on eBay. People wanted them. So I made some money. That's how I helped out buying some of my stuff. Oh man, Tactics 2. That was one of the very first board games we ever played. And it was like a mirror image battle that you're fighting with each other. It's kind of like chess, but it was a board game. Boots and Saddle. Oh man, here's a whole bunch of different games from the era. This, wow, flashbacks. A lot of these games were, almost every single one was in my collection. Diplomacy. We used to play this game, Diplomacy, in junior high. And our teacher, we'd sit there and got into little groups and we'd fight each other and everything diplomatically. And it sounds like some of the girls in our groups were just vicious. They would go after each other. And we got Squad Leader. Man, old stuff. Oh yeah, we got some Panzer Blitz. Other World War II games. All right, here was the Europa series. We used to have this entire Europa series, and they were interlinked with each other. So each map and each section would link up. So you could actually lay out the entire European campaign if you had the space. And I think each hex was roughly, was it 20, 25 miles or something like that? So it was a big footprint when you laid all these maps out. But they would connect with each other. And you could actually play the entire World War out. It was a good system. It's still around. Oh man, look at all these old board games that used to have. Oh, there we go. Dawn Patrol. There's a good one. And Civil War games. In here. World War One. Ah, here we go. Napoleon's Battles. Kingmaker. We used to play Kingmaker. All right. Now you're seeing Citadel miniatures right here. These were the stars picking up some of the stuff. There wasn't very many Citadel miniatures at the time. There were very few. Looks like Slambo right there. Yep, there was a limited selection. Alright. This unit right here is sitting on my table right now. I picked this thing up, I put it in a box, and I forgot about it. And this will probably be part of a painting challenge. And this is the Regiment of Renown Nightmare Legion, only $20. You buy these, they're actually made out of lead. And if you bought them today, they probably, if you wanted to find this box, you're looking at probably $100 at least. Because I've seen individual one of these things going for 15, 20 bucks a piece. Wow, it's like crazy. All right. We got Fantasy Lords. This was one of the ones that we spent a lot of time. This is where I started building my armies up with these miniatures here. Because we were playing, using them part of our D&D games at the time. And I did start eventually finding the Citadel miniatures and started picking some of those up to supplement my like my Raupartha armies and stuff that I have. Oh, I got this right here in my collection, right behind me. There he is. Same guy, right there. All ready for action. You'll get to see more of him when I do the my undead army. But yeah, I still got a lot of these guys in my collection. Fantasy Heroes, all kinds of cool stuff here. A lot of this stuff I have, or did have. Raupartha. Star Frontiers. Yeah, here we go, the Sathar. I have these ships right here. Had these 2 boxes of ships that went with the game. All kinds of dice. White. Here's the subscription. Here's it's selling White Dwarf magazine. And there are articles that went with it. $5. Best of White Dwarf. $5. Dragon magazine. Someplace in a box, I think I have every Dragon magazine from like 1982 on through probably 90, somewhere in there. I used to have a subscription to it and get it. Amazing magazine. Amazing stories. Adventure stories. Dungeons and Dragons game books. And this is like a flashback to history. Back in the days of the heady days of the 80s when games really started taking off. Dragonlance. Lots of Dragonlance books. A lot of this stuff you just pick up in that. If you had a bookstore near you, you just pick them up. Didn't have to worry about ordering them. A little bit of artwork. Polyhedron magazines. Transition. You get your clothing. Fantasy reproductions. Yes, artwork. I used to have a bunch of... I still got a bunch of posters. Some of the stuff I have on my walls, I've had... It's like I got a couple posters up on my wall I've had since like 1978. Picked them up when I was in junior high. So there's the back of everything. That is a run-through of the catalog from 1988. Someplace around here I have a couple Raupartha catalogs, so maybe one of these days I'll do a run-through of those. Alright, so that's everything. Hope you guys liked a little bit of tour of the history with it all, and I'll talk with you all later.